Very warm welcome to the lecture, guys. So in this lecture we'll be covering another 10 question of our electric current in conductors, your chapter number 32 at C Verma. So before going into the lecture, please like, share and subscribe my video, and please watch it till the end because you have your takeaways in each question. Okay, you have some kind of important notes in each question, and afterwards we'll be taking the takeaways if necessary. My name is Anmol Kumar. I am MTech Aerospace Engineering from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and I'm your instructor at iitpathshala.com. So, now let us start with the question itself. So, my first question you can read out over here only. Let me explain you. My first question is, now the teacher have given you n identical cells. Each cell is having identical resistance, which is small r. What he have done is he have aligned them to make line. So you are having n1 identical cell. You have made them to be aligned in a particular line over here. Now you have joined n2 of same kind of lines in parallel, and you have connected the whole circuitry to a load resistance, and now you have to find out for the current in this load resistance over here. Then you have to determine the maximum current in this load resistance over here. So what I have done is, first I have made the whole circuit. Okay, then I have simplified the circuit. As you can see over here, every battery is connected in series. So what I have done is add up all the batteries which are connected in series as per the concept, as well as the resistance are in series. So what I have done is I have added all the resistances because all the resistances are in series. Okay, so that's how I am simplifying my each line over here. I am simplifying my each line over here. So this is my line 1. Because my line 2 is identical to my line 1, it will give me the same output. Now n2 kind of these lines, are joined in parallel, so there are n2 kind of same lines. Now what I have done is, to further simplify, I have recalled from my previous lecture about a simple formula which is nothing but, if various batteries of EMF E and resistances R, are joined in parallel with each other, then I can simplify it to single battery of E net and a single resistance of R net as follow. I have to take this formula which says equivalent by R equivalent is nothing but the individual contribution of each battery and resistor, E1 by R1, E2 by R2, up to so on, the number up to which you are having. Similarly, you have to find the R equivalent to find the E equivalent over here. So what I have done is 1 by R equivalent will be nothing but the sum of reciprocal. Okay, so you are not you are doing nothing but you are finding the R equivalent by the same old school parallel formula over here. So what you are doing is, you are reciprocating each of the resistances, over here and adding them up. Okay, because each resistance were nothing but the sum of all identical resistance, giving me n1r. I am ending up with 1 by n1r plus 1 by n1r up to n2 terms. Okay, so it comes out to be n2 by n1r. Okay, so now you have to replace 1 by r equivalent in this E equivalent by R equivalent, our basic equation over here, which is equation number 1. So after replacing, you will be getting your E equivalent. After getting your E equivalent, you have to make your circuit. As follow. So you have simplified your circuit with a battery with your R equivalent, join them in series with your RL. Okay, join them in series with your RL. Now what you're going to do is, you have to find the I. Now you are having two resistances in series over here, so V equal to IR, where R will be the sum of this R equivalent and this load resistance over here. So that's how I came up to this conclusion. Now the second part is saying that you have to maximize the following I. Now to maximize the following I, what I can do is I can minimize the following denominator over here. So I is nothing but mathematical term which is having a denominator and a denominator. And as per my 9th class concept, I know that if I have to make this maximum, I have to keep my denominator as small as possible. So now what I'm doing is I'm just simplifying it. Okay, and after simplification, I'm getting this expression over here. Now, as you can see over in this bubble, I have to minimize the following expression. Now, to minimize the following expression, what I have done is, because simply I cannot put a blunt zero over here, shooting this I to infinity. So what I have done is, cleverly I have made this term to be perfect square. Okay, so you guys will be knowing how to make perfect square. If you don't know, please watch the following expression. Okay, so I have made a perfect square over here. I have taken the square root of this term and this term, squaring them and subtracting both of them with equivalent 2 into under root n1r and under root n2rl, and adding with 2 into under root n1r under root n2r. Okay, now afterwards I'll be getting an expression like this over here. Now this is nothing but denominator, and I have to minimize this denominator. So what I can do is, my denominator is having a term plus b term. My denominator is form of a plus b. So what I can do is, I can make either the a term to be minimum as possible or b term to be minimum as possible, because I cannot make my b term to be minimum as possible because n1 and n2 are the definite integers. There will be some kind of integers over here. Okay, so I cannot take them to be 0 over here. Okay, so what I can do is, I can make my a term to be equal to 0. Okay, so if I equate my a term to be equal to 0, I will be getting a expression of n1r and n2rl. Okay, so this condition will make my I maximum condition. Okay, so now move forward to the next question. Now in this question, the teacher is asking you that you are having an 100-volt battery in series with your 10 kilo ohm resistance. You are joining them with a load resistance. Now the load resistance can take up the value up to 100 ohm. It is not particularized that it is 100 ohm itself. Now up to 100 ohm, you can take any resistance and you'll be getting same amount of current. You'll be getting a current of same magnitude. Okay, now he is saying that this concept or this principle is called as constant current source principle, because you are having a battery which is delivering you constant current, even though you can take any amount of resistance up to this less than 100 ohm resistance. Okay, you'll be getting same magnitude of current. Okay, he wants you to verify this principle. Now what I have done is, to verify this principle, I have taken three arbitrary value of resistances over here. First one is 0, which I have taken. Second one is 100 ohm, the extreme value. So first one is the minimum value, second one is the maximum value, and one value in between both of them. Okay, which is I have chosen 1. Okay, so now I have found it out the value of I for each case. Okay, so for first one it was coming out to be direct 0.01, where my load resistance was nothing but 0. Now when I have taken R equal to 1, I was getting 0.009. After simplifying or rounding off, I was getting 0.01. Okay, so it was same as like my first case. Now in the third case also, after simplifying and rounding off, I was getting a magnitude of 0.01 of my current. So that's verify my principle of constant current source. Okay, so this battery over here in conjunction with this resistance is nothing but a constant current source, because it is delivering you a constant current of 0.01 magnitude up until the resistance 100 ohm. Now in this question, as you can see over here, he wants you to find out the current in A1 and A2 ammeter. A1 and A2 ammeter, you are provided with current A3 as 2.4 ampere over here. Okay, so you will be having problem, because as you know from the Kirchhoff current law, your parent current at this junction number A will be divided into two parts, I1 and I2. Okay, now you'll be having two unknowns over here, so you'll be needing two particular equation for this. So first equation comes from your Kirchhoff current law. Second equation you can get by a simple logic, that both of the resistance are falling in between a single voltage source or in between terminals over here. So A and B, both of the resistance are falling in between the terminal A and B. So in both of these resistance voltages will be same provided that A1 and A2 are carrying minimal or no resistances. So voltage across your 20 ohm resistance will be voltage across your 30 ohm resistance. So voltage is nothing, V equal to IR, from the concept of Ohm's law, V equal to IR. So the I in this resistance into R of this resistance, similarly I in this resistance into R of this resistance. Okay, now you have to solve for I1 and I2 and mention that in comment section, because it's a pretty much simple question and you can do it. Now moving forward to the next one, he is asking you that the resistance of the rheostat. Now rheostat is a variable resistance in which you can vary the resistance. Now the resistance of the rheostat as shown in figure is 30 ohm. Now you can take over here is 0 to 30 ohm. You can vary the resistance from 0 to 30 ohm over here. Now neglecting the meter resistance, find the minimum and the maximum current through the ammeter as the rheostat is varied. So you are varying in between 0 to 30 ohm and then you are finding out the value of minimum and the maximum current. Now from the usual method, I'll be finding out the current over here. So first I will be solving this 10 ohm and 20 ohm resistance. So it is coming 20 by 3 because both of them are in parallel. So it is coming out to be 20 by 3 for me. Now it is nothing but 20 by 3 and this rheostat are in series with each other. Both of them are series with each other. So what I can do is I can write out the expression of V equal to IR, where R is nothing but the equivalence of 20 by 3 plus 30 ohm. Both are in series and V is given to me to be 5.5. So I'll be landing up with this expression over here. Okay, after this I have to vary this rheostat from 0 to 30 ohm. So if you want to have your current to be maximum, you have to make your rheostat to be equal to 0. Okay, because you have to make this denominator as minimum as possible. So what you can do is for maximum current over here, you have to make your rheostat to be equal to 0 or to be set up to 0. Now for making the minimum current, for getting the minimum current, you have to maximize your rheostat. Okay, so the maximum value of the rheostat is given 30 ohm. Okay, so just put the value of 30 ohm. So you'll be getting a value of minimum current to be 0.5 and maximum current to be 0.825. Okay, now quickly moving toward the next question, which is question number 25. You are having three bulbs. Each bulb is carrying its own switch. In the first question, all bulbs are switch on, so you are connecting all the bulbs, all the switches. Now if you connect all the switches over here, every bulb which is carrying a 180 ohm resistance will be parallel in each other. Okay, will be in parallel to each other. Okay, and the whole circuitry is connected to a 60 volt battery over here. So simply find out the R equivalent, and because you have to find the net resistance, you can easily apply the Ohm's law, V equal to IR. Okay, now you are having R equivalent, you are having E or your V over here, and you can find for the I. Now he's saying that in the second part, two bulbs are switched on, so you are switching on only two bulb, but you are not connecting the third bulb. Okay, so just put both of them in parallel over here. You'll be landing up with this R equivalent, V equal to IR, and find out the I equivalent. Okay, simple. Now C question, you have to find it by yourself. It is very much easy. Now in the 26th question, suppose you are having three resistors, 20, 50 and 100 ohm. 20, 50 and 100 ohm. Find the minimum resistance and maximum resistance. As you know, minimum resistance can be achieved only when the resistances are in parallel to each other. So they have to be in parallel to each other. R1, R2, R3 should be parallel to each other. For the maximum case, you should join them in series. For the maximum case, you should join them in series. As you know, series is nothing but sum of all of them, and in parallel the R equivalent is nothing but the reciprocated sum of all of them. Okay, moving toward the next question. You are having a bulb, so a bulb is made up of two filament and a switch. Select whether the filament are used individually or in parallel. Okay, so you are having a bulb. first let me change the pen over here. So you are having a bulb made up of two filaments over here. Now you are having a switch. Okay, you are having switch. So this bulb either this bulb can glow as follow, that the bulb which is carrying the two resistance will be in parallel to each other, or individual resistances will glow up. Individual resistances will glow up. Okay, now what should be the resistances of the filament if you are given a battery of 15 volt, and when you are lighting up the bulb you are getting the following power readings. So now, as you know, power is nothing but v square by r. Power is nothing but v square by r. So what I have done is, if you have to find the resistance, I can write as v square by p. V square by p over here. Now find all the resistances, v square by p, all the possible resistances by all these possible powers over here. For power of 15 watt, okay, for the power of 10 watt, and for the power of 5 watt. Okay, and you are given with the voltage over here, 15, 15, 15. Okay, nothing. So it is 5 over here, sorry, it is 5 over here, misprint from my side, it is 5 over here. Now you will be landing up with these three resistances. Now what is R1 and what is R2 among all these three options? Now as you know that if you are connecting two individual resistances in parallel, then you'll be landing up with a resistance which will be having a less resistance than your individual R1 and R2. This you know from your concept only. So just check out the least resistance. So 15 ohm is the least resistance in all of the case. So this is the case where this bulb is having both of the resistances connected in parallel and are glowing. Okay, so this is the case of parallel, and the other two remaining cases are of individual. So it can be R1, it can be R2, or this can be R2, or this can be R1. It is on your choice. Okay, now let us move forward to this simple question over here. Now it is asking that what is the potential difference in between A and B. So to figure out the potential difference in between A and B, you have to write the KVL equation. Okay, now to write the KVL equation, please follow my video on KVL and KCL tutorial. Okay, because I'll not be redundantly showing you how to apply KVL. Okay, so what you have to do is, because you have to also find the current in both of the resistors, and you are provided with a 12 mA current as per our previous question. Just equate the voltages in between 20 kilo ohm and 10 kilo ohm resistance, because they are falling in a single terminal P and Q, because they are falling in between the single terminal P and Q over here. And by the KCL, where 12 milliampere current is your parent current divided into two daughter currents I1 and I2, find for the second equation. So you are having two equation. First equation by the voltage equivalence, second is the KCL, find for I1 and I2. Now to find the KVL in between A and B, you have to find the potential difference in A and B. You have to write the KVL equation. So this is the resistance I'm getting by solving these two resistances over here. Okay, so just for my simplification, I have written the resistance over here, which is coming out to be 20/3. Now apply the KVL. VA, you are starting from here and landing up to VB. So VA, now here 5 kilo ohm, from plus to minus you are decreasing in number, so minus I. Now again from plus to minus you are decreasing in number, so minus I into 20/3, or you can say that these three resistances are in series. I can add them, and current is crossing the net formed equivalent resistance as follow. So this is the net equivalent resistance of 5 kilo ohm, 20 by 3 kilo ohm and 100 kilo ohm R net, and my current is going from positive to negative, so it is decreasing in the number line. So what I can do is multiply -1 in my KVL equation. So what I've done is multiplied my -1. So please watch my video on KVL and KCL tutorial, and then you can figure out how I landed up with this equation equal to VB, because I'm terminating at VB. So just by applying this equation, figure out the potential difference in between VA and VB. You are given, or you are equipped with I to be equal to 12 into 10 to the power minus 3. Now moving forward to the next question. An ideal battery sends a current of 5 ampere in a resistance when another resistance of value 10 ohm is connected in parallel. The current through the battery is increased to 6 ampere. Find the resistance of the first resistor. Okay, so what it is saying, that you are having a load resistance, now if you are connecting this idle battery to this load resistance, it is delivering a current of 5 ampere. Okay, now what you have done is you have connected a 10 ohm resistance in parallel to this load resistance. Okay, so now this battery is giving you a current of 6 ampere. Now this battery is giving you a current of 6 ampere, so current is being increased over here. Okay, so you have to figure out the value of RL for which this current have increased from 5 ampere to 6 ampere. So doesn't matter, because we have formed both of the circuit over here. So from the first circuit I'm getting V equal to IR to be equal to E equal to 5 into RL. From the second circuit, first I have to calculate the equivalent in between 10 ohm and the RL over here. Then just I can make this kind of case over here. Okay, E and R equivalent. So I can simplify this circuit as follow, and the current is same, 6 ampere will be flowing. Now I can write it as E equal to I into the R equivalent over here. Now as you can see, E is not changed in both of the cases. E is not changed in both of the cases. So equate for E. This equation will be equated to the second equation. Okay, and you will be landing up with your RL to be equal to 2 ohms. Moving forward to the next and most asked question in the examination and your Viva teacher. Find the equivalent resistance in between the terminal A and B. Now to solve for the following, what I can say you, just apply the concept, of potential difference. So now, as you know, if you are having a resistance, only then you'll be having two potentials. Because there is a resistance over here. Okay, so you can say that if you are having a person in one piece, okay, and there is a street full of bullies, then the person, after he have covered this road, he'll be landing up with broken teeth. So that's why I can say that my potential here and my potential here are two different things. Now here you can see that there is a wire, over here which isn't carrying any kind of resistance. So my potential at this point will be same as potential at this point, logically. Okay, similarly for this case, this wire over here isn't carrying any resistance, so my potential at this point will be equal to my potential at this point. Now what you can do is you have to mark both of them as follow, both of the potential as follow, and mark all the resistance in between them. So this resistance is falling in between A and B, this resistance is falling in between A and B, and this resistance is falling in between A and B over here. So just put them as follow, make a net circuit. Now as you can see over here is all of them are connected in parallel, so you can figure out the parallel resistance over here. Okay, so in this lecture there is nothing I can call a takeaway other than the constant current concept. So you can revisit the video itself and revisit the question for this small concept. I will not be reciting it again in front of you guys. If you are unprivileged, I will give you free tuition classes. Okay, so if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up, like, share and subscribe, and I'll be releasing the next video soon. Okay, so I am daily releasing a video. So if you are having any kind of demand, please tell to me. So we'll meet you in the next lecture. Until then, goodbye guys.